Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at MATIC. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. So previously on MATIC, what we're talking about is looking for finding support in this lower range here, above this 87.61. So we have come down into this area. Now the problem is within the structure, it could indicate that we actually still have some further downside to come here. Now, one thing we have to be careful of is that if this is an A wave, this could have been a B wave, and we could have seen this as a C wave, or rather a W, an X, and a Y. So basically looking at this as a zigzag here, X wave connector, another zigzag to the downside, and potentially this could look to be completed here. And what we could do is start to move up in a bigger C wave here. So this is all still valid for as long as we actually maintain this low here of this 74.72. If we lose this low, this would invalidate this potential of looking to extend up here, and we have to treat this as a end of a move then, in which case this could mean that we're actually going to break down below these levels, and we could actually look to revisit some of these lower zones here. So one of the things we were talking about is the potential of actually coming back down and looking to retest some of these lower areas here between the 6971 to this 4434 region. So that would be looking at this move potentially as a three-way move to the upside, looking for that possibility of coming back down here into the zone. Now, it is still possible that potentially instead of counting this in this way, we could argue that within here we have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what we could be forming here is a bigger flat correction to the downside. So this is what we need to just be aware of, is there is still potential that, even if we do see a bigger five-wave structure develop to the downside here, for instance, say we get this as a 1 here, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and we break down into these lower ranges here, it is still potentially possible that this could actually still be a corrective structure, and we could look to break up from these zones. So really, as long as we hold 3160, we can look to potentially move to the upside here in a direct manner. Now, what I want to see happen from here, if this is the case, is actually getting back above these highs here of this $1.19 and this $1.25. Until we actually do that, what I would be looking out for is the potential that we could still look to break down deeper. Now, what we'd be looking for here is that potentially, instead of counting this in the way that I did here with an X wave and then as a Y wave to the downside, it's possible that we can potentially count this whole move here as A, B, C into here, D, and E as a triangle, in which case now what we have is a five-wave structure to the downside. So this would be, it's possible this could just be a C wave that's fallen short here, but my primary expectation would actually be to have another leg to the downside here in an A, B, and a C. Now, looking at the current structure, we need to be careful. Obviously, we don't start to extend directly to the downside here. But what I'm looking out for is the potential that we could have this as an A, this is a B, and then actually looking for this as a C wave to the upside. Really, though, until we actually take these highs, so this one here, this $1.03, and then this one here of this 105, we need to be careful of a direct break to the downside. So this is just something we need to be aware of. It's possible we could have something much smaller like this, where we start to actually break down directly. And what we'd be looking at as potential target zones for this would be, so the yellow wave A would be a one-to-one down here towards the zone of the 72.59. And then the one-to-one of this is an ABC if it is a bigger W, X, and a Y wave would actually be here towards this 81.25. So this would be an interesting area. It'd be close to the 786, this 80 cent 74, and then the 0.618 and the 0.618 of both of these two waves here kind of land around this 87 cent range, which would actually be down here, towards this zone of the lower area we'd be looking at as a 786 retracement, which would be this 87.61. So if we do maintain 87.61, we can still look potentially to get a move to the upside in this manner. We would be looking at this as A, B, and C, or potentially if it moves up to this 1618 as a third wave. So this is what I'm looking out for here. Potentially there is still some downside here. And really, until we actually get back above this $1.1325, I would be focused on continuation to the downside. Now it is possible within here this could be a triangle as well, where this becomes basically A, B, C, D, and then we formed an E wave, in which case we could look to start to break down from this point here. And what we'll be looking out for is then basically seeing this breakdown. If we were talking about a potential breakout, really only by starting to break back above this 109 area? Would I be sort of anticipating that, where we'd be looking at this potentially as 1-2-1-2 here, and then looking to extend up like this, where we'd start to get a bigger break to the upside? But we need to see this 109 area taken out first. I am still cautious of this descending top channel line that we have here. As well as that, we need to get, quite a few things we need to see happen here to actually get confirmation of this bigger breakout to the upside. Though we have come down into the typical zone, we need to just await further confirmation of that fact if we are looking to turn around here. At the moment, the moves to the upside, I mean, we can potentially argue that there's some extension going on in here. But what I'd want to see first is basically this move becoming a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And then from there, we would be looking, for that continuation up towards the zone of this 109.04. Now, if we do break past this zone, that would then, indicate to me that we started to get some extension to the upside. But the fact is, we still came down really deep for a wave two, if that's the case. So it makes it less probable already. We need to just see how this plays out, because even if we do move back up into this zone here of this $1.13 to this 106 area, there's a big area here towards this 0.618 of this 108 that we'd have to get back above, as well as this channel line being towards that zone as well. And then, we've got some swing highs here as well, which could be problematic for us to get over. So yeah, we'll have to see exactly how this continues to play out here. But otherwise, primarily, I will still be looking for that potential to see another drop down here. Now, if we do drop down, what I'd be looking for is this 87.61 as a potential target area. Now, the bearish case for this, something we need to be aware of, is that we were talking about this in the previous video, where we looked at this potentially as a wave 1, 2. This is another one here, looking for this as a wave two. Now, the fact is, if we're going to count this as a triangle, we need to be cautious with this, because basically what this would mean is this cannot be a wave two as a triangle. But it is also possible to count this move as a diagonal to the downside here, where we have a contracting diagonal here. This is just a complex wave two. And then basically we're starting to break down in a deeper way for this wave three. But now, typically what I'd want to see here is actually a move down towards this 1618. We haven't dropped this deep yet. And it doesn't really look like there's much more extension within this from what I can see from these current structures here, unless we've had an extension in the wave one or something like that. It's not looking likely that it's going to be an impulse. But if we do start to break down towards this 8640, we'd have to just check the structure again and make sure there's no way of counting this as as an impulse, because it's possible, like I said, potentially what we could have here is an extension within the wave one. This is two. Now we have 1, 2, 1, 2, and then all of a sudden we break down in a bigger wave for a third wave from here. So we'll have to just be a little bit cautious of that. Once again, I'm going to give a target area for something to look out for if we are looking at that potential. So this is a 1-2, would be looking for this 8568 as a potential 1.618. So if we start to break down in a much bigger way here, that's potentially what's going on. But it could also just be that, this is A, this is B, and we get a C wave down, and then we look to reverse to the upside. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that lower support box that we're talking about. If we do start to break down in a much deeper way here, and we do start to get some extensions in here, what this could mean is, we could be in a third wave, which could look to actually take us down towards the zone of this 55 cent 38. So this is what we want to avoid. By all means, is a bigger move to the downside like this, because this would then indicate that potentially what we could see here is a deeper correction. Looking for this area here. Let me just come onto the 8-hour. Looking for this potential area here of a 1-to-1 towards the 1705. Now, it doesn't mean we have to come down to this 1-to-1. What we could see is a move that comes down between this 0.618 to this higher range here of this 0.854. What I would ideally want to see is a cross of this A wave though. So the 786 would be a potentially interesting zone if we do start to look to break down there. But obviously, we need to take this one step at a time. There is still potential here that this could find support here and actually take this high, in which case that would invalidate this potential of the C wave that we are currently looking at. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there. Both great exchanges we use on a regular basis. Check them out for yourself if you do not have an account. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. See you in the next one. Take care.